Hello, and welcome to Empowered Voices, Stories from the Arc of Greater Boone County. This is Pam Verbarg, Executive Director, and I'm here today with a continuation of the introductions to our leadership team. And today, I have Amanda Davids with us, and I'm going to have Amanda start by telling us a little bit about herself, a little bit about her background, her title, how long she's been with the organization, and what else she does here at the Arc of Greater Boone County. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you very much. So like Pam said, my name is Amanda Davids. I am the HR director here at the ARC. I've been with the ARC for just over 15 years now. When I started here, I started in employment side of things. So I was an employment consultant for a little over 4 years, and then just kind of worked through the administration side of things as an admin assistant. And then as the organization continued to grow, worked into more HR background or using my HR background and moved more into that role. Went to college at Ball State and got a degree in human resources. So it kind of just all worked out perfect the way that things kind of moved here. And as we continue to grow, the position just kind of keeps getting bigger and bigger and has really evolved and grown with the organization. So it's been a really great experience.
Awesome. So, Amanda, you mentioned you started as an employment consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And for our listeners who may not know what that role does, can you tell us a little bit about what you did in that role?
Sure. So an employment consultant works with people that have intellectual and developmental disabilities and helps them find community employment. So helping them kind of figure out what their abilities are, what their goals are, what kind of jobs they're looking for, and then helps them build a resume, helps them work on interview skills, but also does some marketing and sales out in the community, looking for employers that have positions that are open that match what the client is looking for. And then working with both sides to kind of find that good match for a client. But then also helping them ongoing. So once they get the job, working with them in the role, helping them learn the job, learn the different skills that they need, and making sure that they are successful in that position. So like I said, I did that for a little over 4 years. A lot of really great experience in that role. But for me, the sales and marketing part of it just was not my favorite. So
I could see that. Probably not my favorite part of those roles either.
No.
But on the other hand, the other parts really tied in really nicely with your HR education.
Yes. And just working with the people that I worked with was great. Not only learned a lot about them, but learned a lot about myself as well and built some of my own skills. So that was good.
Awesome. So now that you're in the HR role, tell us a little bit about the things you find most challenging in that role.
Probably the biggest is turnover and just finding people to work and that fit well into the roles that we have open. It's a challenge every day to find good people to support the people that we're supporting. So that's definitely the biggest challenge.
And you mentioned we've grown a lot since you started with the organization. I think when you started, we had about 25 staff?
I think when I started, we had 18.
Ooh.
And now we're up to 118. So yes, it is a completely different organization than it was when I started, which has, goods and bads with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the growth that we've had, we are definitely able to provide so much more for the people we support, which is great.
And you mentioned that you got started pretty much out of college. So what actually brought you here to the Arc of Greater Boone County?
I actually, once I graduated college, I was working at a bank and had applied for some different positions within the bank that I was working in. And it just wasn't, I needed something different. I needed to be able to just do some different things. And my husband actually started here before I did. He was doing a different role, taking people out into the community. And when the employment consultant position opened up, he encouraged me to apply for it. And the rest is history, I guess.
Okay.
So
So just kind of that natural connection with the
Right.
organization and
Right.
there.
And I had done some work in high school, like with the special education department, done some tutoring in one of the classes in high school. So I kind of already had a little bit of knowledge of, um, intellectual and developmental disabilities and the different needs there, but was definitely an eye opening experience. A completely different role than what I was doing at the bank for sure. So.
So, as you have kind of grown into your role here and picked up some more things, I know you serve on a couple committees and you lead a couple of initiatives. Do you want to talk a little bit about our events committee and some of the things you do with employees to help them feel connected with the organization?
Sure. So our events committee that started, it's probably been, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. We had decided that we needed to have a committee that really looked at doing events for the people we support outside of normal business hours. Um, Not only for the clients to have something fun for them to do, but also to give their caregivers a break so that they would be here doing something um, that caregivers would have extra time to be doing whatever they wanted to do. So it's kind of evolved a little bit. We do a lot more events during the day just because it's easier um, for the clients to be involved in that. Um, but we still do events in the evening sometimes too. We've done a lot of different things. Have done like some a gardening event where they got to plant their own succulent plants. We've done painting events. We've done game nights, movie nights, dances. We've done all kinds of different things. So just different activities to get the clients or the people we support involved, and just give them some other activities to be able um, to participate in with their with their peers. Um, then we also do, other sort of engagement activities for our staff as well. Um, so we have different events throughout the year. Um, that I plan and put on. So we have like our direct support professional appreciation week where we have different events throughout the whole week. We have our family event that we do once a year. So we've like rented out the pool in Lebanon and had, people could have a picnic, dinner and swim, or we've worked with Dole's Pumpkin Harvest multiple years. They're fabulous and have done a really great job working with us to allow our staff to go there. Um, and do all their fun activities as well. So just a lot of different things to try and keep staff and families involved.
And we do a thing every month called Thankful Thursdays as
We
well.
do Thankful Thursdays, yes. It's not always on Thursday, but that's okay. But yeah, just again, getting staff involved. We a lot of times we have lunch on those Thankful Thursdays or some sort of um, treat, something for staff. But again, just to show them that we do appreciate all the work that they do for the people we support.
So, kind of sticking on that note, what have you found most rewarding about your role here?
Um, just seeing the successes of the people we support for sure. Not always am I involved in those things, but hearing other staff talk about them or hearing the client or this person we support actually talk about it is really, really cool. So,
Mhm. So, do you have a favorite story you want to share on somebody's success?
um, well, there's somebody that I worked with when I started here, as an employment consultant. Worked with the individual, helped them get a couple different jobs throughout my time as an employment consultant, um, and then later on, I mean, multiple years later, I actually got to help that individual move out of the group home, which was really really cool. Um, so that person, you know, reached their goals, which was awesome.
So, she now lives in her own apartment,
She
has
does.
2 jobs, has a small
She does.
business.
Yeah,
She has all kinds of cool stuff
she
going
does.
on.
Yeah,
And in fact, we're gonna invite her to come real soon
that's awesome.
to visit on the podcast as well,
Yeah,
because she is an awesome success story
she is.
of, the achievements that somebody can do. And with her in particular, I think what really stood out to all of us when she moved out was people had told her in her entire life
Yeah.
that she'd never be able to live on her own. So
Yeah. So it just goes to show that just a little bit of support and encouragement goes a long way.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
And those are the things that keep us coming back to work every day
Absolutely.
too, aren't they?
Yep.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for joining me
You're
today.
welcome.
We appreciate your time
Yeah.
and sharing a little bit. Again, we're doing these because we just want you guys to meet our leadership team. We've got a fabulous team here who pulls together to support those that we work with every day, and want to give folks the opportunity to meet people, especially Amanda, who works behind the scenes, because folks don't get to see and engage with her outside of our employees and many of the people that we support. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next time.